Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, 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 Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, 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 Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody.
Hari Om Swamiji, Pranam.
Pranam, pranam.
Hari Om Swamiji.
60 years ago, on this day, Papa chose to drop his body. So today, with a heart full of gratitude, we are remembering him. Not only we remember, people may not remember, but the truth is those who are also physically alive, who have come in contact with Papa, either during his lifetime or after his samadhi time. Today we try to remember him with a heart full of gratitude. Though we have not been able to live up to what is expected of us, still somewhere we all find some pleasant feeling the moment we remember him, the moment we remember Anandashram, the moment we remember Puja Mataji, the moment we remember Puja Swamiji. All because of, though it's all God's will from our level, from the sense of individuality level, it is all because of the transition that took place in the life of Vittal Rao. And in order to give all these innumerable devotees, we should not forget that God made him to pass through severe testing moments. Then only the transformation could take place. You know, they were the instrumental causes, apparently. Though everything is God's will, apparently to bring out the realized saint in him. Vittal Rao was made to pass through severest tests. Previously, we were thinking that was his journey. Now we slowly come to realize it is for us. If we are today deriving joy and happiness as well as inspiration from his life and teachings, the transition should take place, So in order that the transition takes place, God saw to it that he was made to pass through the severest trying period. You all remember the words he wrote in Quest of God, Terrible stress. So mentally we bring that inspiring form before us. Give us Ashtanga pranams. Touch his holy feet. And then repeat the words what Mataji made the then devotees to repeat before taking the body to the Homa Mandir. Before it was taken for cremation, Mother Krishna Bai addressed the following words to the devotees, first in Malayalam and then in Hindi, which was translated into English. She said, Pujya Papa came to the world to give us sakshatkar, self-realization. He has granted us all material benefits. Now we have to pray to him only for the inestimable blessing of attaining his Shashwata Swarup, that is merging in the infinite. Then she asked the devotees to come one by one and prostrate before Puja Papa, praying for the realization of the eternal. She then took Puja Papa's right hand and placed it on the head of each of them. Now Puja Papa, so Mataji made us to say, Puja Papa came to the world to give us sakshatkar, self-realization, that means sakshatkar, self-realization. He has granted us all material benefits. Now we have to pray to him only for the inestimable blessing of attaining his Shashwata Swarup, that is merging in the infinite. So each Samadhi day should make us to remember this, And immediately the question will rise up in our mind. Has it ever occurred to me to pray for his Shashwata Swarup? Whenever I am in trouble, whenever I want anything to be done at this level, we continue to pray to Papa, seeking his blessings. That's okay. But ultimately, Mataji wanted all of us to ask for Sakshatkar. So on every Samadhi day, suppose we try to remember, these are the words of Mataji. So what I should do now in my sadhana? It is a day for renewal of our commitment. Because of those who were present on that day, we now understand from the report that Mataji herself brought out this prayer in Malayalam and then in Hindi and made everyone to repeat it. And then she took Papa's hand and placed on everybody's head. You see the concern for Mataji, that all of us should always also reach the same state which Papa had scaled. So most of us were not there at that moment. So naturally, we have not heard this directly from her. Later on, through many of her writings, Mataji had repeated this. Still, we did not give attention. God made us to prioritize so many other things. But again, the next year, the Samadhi day comes, again we are reminded. That is the purpose of observing Samadhi day, She named the Samadhi Mandir as Homa Mandir. It was treated as a homa. The divine form lying on the bed, made up of satranji, mat, quilt, a thick mattress, cotton, silk bedspreads, was placed on a bed of sandalwood and fragrant flowers, garlands, different kinds of perfumes, incense, camphor, and the base was lit, and the homa was started at 11:05 a.m. Due to the thick mattress, it took over 6 hours for the fire to consume the holy offering. Though the fire was well fed with plenty of ghee, sugar, milk, rice, camphor. By 6 p.m., the holy ashes were collected in big vessels and kept in the room adjoining the bhajan hall and would be securely enshrined within the cement platform in the same room on which Virat Papa used to sleep in the early days of the ashram. That was written by Mataji on 30th July. One more article of Puja Swamiji, that's also very touching. Puja Swamiji writes, it appeared in Vision, October 1963. Find the Guru within. True vision means the vision of reality within you. The man of ignorance clings to the external forms for support. So long as a man does not see the great truth he is in search of within himself, he can never know peace. These words and similar ones to this effect were more frequently uttered by our beloved Papa during the past few years. Was he preparing us to stand on our own legs by turning our gaze within to realize the great truth and not to mourn the inevitable end of his physical frame? Find the Guru within you. True vision means the vision of the reality within you. The man of ignorance clings to the external forms for support. So long as a man does not see the great truth he is in search of within himself, he can never know peace. On 25th July 1963, when the sun was setting, the great son of India, nay of the whole world, was also preparing to shuffle off his purest and most ideal physical instrument, which he used for the service of mankind for over 40 years. For an ordinary onlooker, that evening marked the end of a most glorious life. 41 years ago, he threw overboard, all at one stroke, his business, home, family, and all that he called his own. He was seized by an intense aspiration to realize the truth, and it came like a strong wave that swept him completely off his feet, absolutely cutting him off from all that he possessed. In fact, Papa's life, when we look back, appears to be a demonstration in the world laboratory to show to aspirants the various stages of spiritual progress, the wonderful power of Ramnam, the meaning of surrender to the will of God, and the spiritual peak to which a man could reach within a remarkably short time. In a condensed form, in a capsule form, Swamiji has given. In fact, Papa's life when we look back, appears to be a demonstration in the world laboratory to show to aspirants the various stages of spiritual progress. Number one, the wonderful power of Ramnam. Number two, and the meaning of surrender to the will of God. Number three, and the spiritual peak to which a man could reach within a remarkably short time. Ramnam first made him mad for God. This was mistaken by his friends and relations as insanity. Day and night, without a moment's rest, he was chanting Ramnam. Sleep would break the continuity of Ramnam. Heavy would bring on sleep, so he sacrificed both food and sleep to chant the name ceaselessly. Worldly talk would distract the mind from Ramnam, so he gave up all talk and went into solitude. Thus, whatever stood in the way of his continuous chanting of Ramnam, he mercilessly kicked aside, wandered in ochre robe throughout the length and breadth of India without any plan or program, not knowing and not worrying as to where his next halt would be, throwing himself entirely in the hands of the all merciful and all powerful Ram. Like a dry leaf blown about here and there by the breeze. He used to say that at that time he felt he was like a baby safe in the hands of its mother. His surrender to the will of God was unparalleled. He accepted cheerfully every situation in which he was placed as brought about by God Himself. He bore with cheer the insults hurled on him, the occasions, though rare, when he had to go without any food, the unbearable cold and mosquito bites he was subject to when he was spending the night on the Ganges back, lying on the icy cold stone, with only a single piece of cloth to spread and cover his body. Nor was he elated when he was received with honors and was worshipped like an incarnation of God. He looked upon all as the forms of Ram, addressed them as such. Not only humans, but everything he cast his eyes on were the forms of his beloved for him. Inspired with his vision, it is no wonder he started embracing trees, rocks, persons who stood in front of him. By looking upon them all as Ram, and by giving him his beatific smile, surcharged with the purest of love, he softened the hard hearts of men and even serpents. Fear was foreign to him. Where was the reason for fear? What was there to be afraid of when he saw before him only his most beloved Ram? He was absolutely confident that Ram would protect him in every way. Sometimes he even put Ram to severe tests. Just to enjoy the fun of seeing Ram in tigers, he once entered the cave after cave in the high mountains, only to return disappointed as the tigers had then gone away. Papa did not belong to any particular creed. He firmly believed that all creeds, faiths, and religions were different paths which ultimately converged on the same goal. He also pointed out how in the Gita, the Bible, the Quran, the Sendavesta, we find the same note of universal love and service insistently ringing, and how all the scriptures stressed on self surrender as the supreme way to liberation. In his wandering life, his inner vision underwent a radical change, being molded by his master Ram. The result was that in the course of a few years, he realized his oneness with the absolute reality and the universal manifestation. He thus reached the peak of God realization. After that, he had nothing more to do for himself but to play with his mother, manifested as the whole universe, assuming for the sake of Leela the duality of child and mother. It was in the course of such divine play that Anandashram came into being. During its remarkable history of 32 years, that is 63 years written, it has attracted thousands from all parts of India and abroad and rendered distinguished service in spreading the gospel of divine name and universal love. Thus, Papa has drama most wonderfully. He has quitted the stage without notice, leaving us all aghast. Unless we, his devotees, strive to follow his teachings, and see him in our heart, we are likely to retain this sense of loss. The void must be filled by bringing in the light of love to illumine our lives. Here, L is capital. Love, L is capital. The void must be filled up by bringing in the light of love to illumine our lives. This is possible if only we are ready to follow even a fraction of his precepts, which cover various aspects of spiritual life. He lived the life divine in absolute freedom, ever swimming in the ocean of peace and bliss. As a friend put it just when the body was turning to ashes, a life like his alone is worth living. By the supreme will of our beloved Purushottam Papa, the construction of the Homa Mandir is progressing fast. After the arrival of the marble slabs for the Samadhi structure and the flooring, the plastering of the inside walls was taken up. The marble workers laid the marble slabs on the sides and top of the Samadhi structure in the room adjacent to the Bhajan hall. They also laid the marble tiles on the floor of Homa Mandir, where the plastering of the outside walls, painting of the inside walls, electrification still remain to be done. All these will be carried out in due course. On 22nd October, between 11 a.m. and 12 noon, in the midst of a number of devotees singing Ramnam, Puja Mataji Krishnabai interred the holy ashes of Param Puja Papa's physical frame in the Homa Mandir in a specially prepared Samadhi structure on the spot where our Sadguru Purushottam Papa's holy body was offered in Homa to the sacred fire on the 27th July 1963. Along with the holy ashes were placed sandalwood dust, camphor, kumkum. Later, the Samadhi structure was covered by marble slabs. On the slabs of all sides of the Samadhi of Homa Mandir, in the room adjacent to the Bhajan hall, is engraved the holy Rama mantra Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, including the facsimile of the mantra written by Puja Papa and Puja Mataji in English and Hindi respectively. Puja Papa's padukas, carved on marble, are also fixed on the top. It would be appropriate here to quote the following, which are our beloved Papa's own words about the Samadhi of Jivan Muktas. This afternoon we were discussing as to what is left behind after Jivan Mukta drops the body. Sai Baba Samadhi is in Shirdi. Thousands go there to have his darshan. From various parts of India they go to the place in a stream. What is it that draws them there? There must be some power present where his Samadhi is, even when he is alive. A Jivan Mukta has no individuality. He has realized that he is the all-pervading Atman. He is present everywhere. Why is it then a particular place is considered sacred? Is it due to the power, light and joy of the Atman that is still permeating the place where the body is buried or cremated? Yes, each particle of the saint's body, either in the form of dust or ashes, has great divine power in it, and that power radiates light and joy to a responsive heart. This is very important. And elevates it by filling it with ecstasy and peace. When we go to the Samadhi of a saint, we say we feel some peace-giving vibrations there, which are not found elsewhere. Is it due to a power revealed there out of the material remains of the Mahatma, or is it due to the faith of the disciple? If anybody goes there without faith, he does not feel the vibrations. So both the power and the faith must be there before the soothing vibrations are felt. A Jivan Mukta's body is full of divine light, power, and joy, and after he sheds it, his power remains in every particle of its ashes or dust. They give out spiritual radiance. That is why samadhis are worshipped. A strange spiritual power is present there. Before it, whatever you pray for is granted. Many thousands go there for material benefit and get it. Shirdi was an unknown place. Now thousands are going there for the darshan of Baba Samadhi. It is the Bhakta's devotion that makes the power manifest in all its glory. And the most important thing is, again Mataji writes, after the holy body was offered to the sacred fire in Homa on the 27th, our divine Papa was brought back to the ashram in the form of holy prasad ashes. Since then, our beloved Papa, lessening our pain of separation, infused more and more into us, his children, the awareness of his supreme presence within and without. Our most loving and compassionate Purushottam Papa loved to feed the poor and distribute to them clothes, etc. But as it was not possible for us to undertake poor feeding on a mass scale, we decided to distribute rice to the poor, men, women, and children. As our most beloved Papa was physically amidst us till the 27th July, distribution of rice was started on the 28th and continued for 14 days. In 14 days, about 1,25,000 forms of our infinite and eternal Papa were given rice. It is 1963. On the last day, that is the 10th August, special puja was done and offerings made to saints, temples, and mutts in the ashram. Besides rice, adults were also given one towel, quarter rupee, sweets, oil, and children's sweets and oil. Our most beloved Papa's Rama mantra, Shri Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, consists of 14 letters. So 14 days function was thus observed from 28th July to 10th August. Expenses, okay. On the 10th August, the last day of the function, the divine Homa Prasad, the holy ashes, together with incense, camphor, sandal powder, was interred in a copper box placed in the cement platform on which our all compassionate and loving Papa used to sleep in the early days of the ashram in the small room adjoining the bhajan hall. All devotees present participated in the function that started at 5 a.m. and continued till evening in the midst of Ramnam, Dhun and Bhajan. The lid of the box was closed and sealed between 9 to 9:30 p.m. After which Arati and prayers were offered at the holy Samadhi. The Samadhi will be covered with marble slabs and Ramnam inscribed on the top portion. A glass case containing the part of the most sacred remains will be securely fixed on the upper surface of the holy Samadhi to give the benefit of the darshan to all devotees. In the place where the Homa was performed, construction of a small mandir for meditation has been undertaken. This was what Mataji wanted. Homa Mandir means Papa Samadhi Mandir there. In the place where the holy Homa was performed, construction of a small mandir for meditation has been undertaken. Idols or images will not be kept for worship in this mandir. All the devotees are requested not to send or bring any images for worship here or anywhere in the ashram. It was our beloved Papa's wish that we should behold him in all forms and consider the service rendered to all forms as his worship. So, in accordance with his divine wish, it is decided not to place images in this Homa Mandir. So though we were not able to keep up what Mataji had asked us, till 1988 it was there. Somehow, Papa willed a different approach, because we all remember from 64 onwards when we started coming, till 88, there was no image. Home Mandir will always be silent. Devotees who would like to spend time for inward journey, they used to go and sit. Initially, Puja Mataji herself was leading. After she became sick, though the Homa Mandir will be kept open from morning till evening, night, no ritual, no image, nothing will be there. But every visiting devotee, inmates also must be there, we don't know. When we come, we go and spend at least 1 or 2 hours there, morning and evening. We can choose any method. She only said meditation. So we used to have a small book like The Speaks or Glimpses or Sayings of Ramdas, something like that. Mentally we read for 5-10 minutes, then close the book. And with the theme contained, we try to dwell upon it mentally. Then chant Ramnam mentally, do the pradakshina mentally. So it was all an effort to make an inward journey. So Mataji was very particular about this. We will again read. We cannot go back to those days, but we can relive those moments anywhere. Now we have chosen this centenary hall, where you will find there are no images, there are no rituals there, where we can go, and inside, of course, there are photos, Swamiji's images, everything is there. Those who would like, that is also available, but in the centenary hall there is nothing, because at least one place should be free from all photos, images, or anything that is traditional, where we try to connect ourselves with the cosmic reality. In the place where the holy Homa was performed, construction of a small mandir for meditation has been undertaken. Idols or images will not be kept for worship in this mandir. All the devotees are requested not to send or bring any images or worship here or anywhere in the ashram. We are not following that. Every building we put, no. It was our beloved Papa's wish that we should behold him in all forms and consider the service rendered to all forms as his worship. So, in accordance with his divine wish, it is decided not to place images in this holy mandir. It has also been decided to stop all celebration in the ashram, including my 60th birthday, which some devotees have been contemplating to celebrate. All are therefore requested not to come to the ashram, especially on such days. Puja Papa's birthday, Mahalaya Amavasi, Bered Papa's Sannyas Day. If many devotees come on these days, naturally there will be an unusual crowd and the celebration will be inevitable. Therefore, my request is that devotees may come at any time during the year except on those days. Further, when visitors come in large numbers at one time, it will be difficult to manage the kitchen. And then, to top it all, Mataji gives us this wonderful, what should I say? It's not a dictum, because this has come from her own experience. But we should at least memorize it, imprint it, get it imprinted in our mind. Omnipresent Papa's ashram means the whole universe. It is to enable us to learn this that this ashram was established by beloved Papa. So on the sannyas day, it is better we remember all these things. Eh? Samadhi day. Puja Mataji says, whenever I thought of God as Ram, I felt God was far away from me. But when I thought of God as Papa, I felt his nearness. By this practice, after some time, I realized that all my relatives are yourself, Papa. And the thoughts about them as such disappeared. Then I looked upon everybody as you alone. I got the vision to behold you as everyone and everything. Puja Mataji again says, you must know who Papa is. Papa is Nirguna Nirakara Shashvata all-pervading existence. You can get some idea of Papa's Swarup.
Swamiji.
Eh?
The audio is not there.
Eh?
Audio.
By mistake.
Oh.
Audio is not there.
Oh.
Touched that.
Whatever we have read, you have not heard.
We can hear now.
Whatever we have read, you have not heard.
Yes, we have heard. Just now.
Just now only the audio has gone.
Seconds it has gone.
You heard earlier one?
We heard. Just now it is gone.
Oh, only just now it's gone.
Yes, Swamiji.
Puja Mataji says, whenever I thought of God as Ram, I felt God was far away from me. But when I thought of God as Papa, I felt his nearness. By this practice, for some time I realized that all my relatives are yourself, and the thoughts about them as such disappeared. Then I looked upon everybody as you alone. I got the vision to behold you as everyone and everything. So when she said Papa, immediately she defines who Papa is. Mataji says, you must know who Papa is. Papa is Nirguna Nirakara Shashvata all-pervading existence. You can get some idea of Papa's Swarup if you stand on an open ground and look at the sky. The space where there is nothing between the earth and the sky can give you an insight into beloved Papa's all-pervading existence beyond all names and forms. His Nirguna Swarup cannot be compared to anything to give you some idea. I would say that it is like the vacant space between us which is all-pervading. He cannot enjoy his bliss as Nirguna, but he willed he should enjoy it. And in order to do so, beloved Papa projected himself as the entire universe and the multitudinous beings and creatures in it. As the indwelling reality, beloved eternal Papa hides himself, and therefore all are not aware of his existence in them. In order to make them aware of it and to reveal himself in their hearts, our beloved Papa Sadguru, this form, came in a human form to guide them. It is possible to guide human beings only through a human form. Therefore, the Guru, the Supreme Lord, comes in a human form to teach and guide humanity. And so, beloved Papa's presence is not only confined to the bhajan hall and Homa Mandir, is not only all-pervasive in this holy Anandashram, but it lives and moves in and through us. The life force, awareness, intelligence, love, compassion, no? That is called Papa. So beloved Papa's presence is not only confined to the bhajan hall and homa mandir or samadhi hall, it's not only all pervasive in this holy Anandashram, but it lives and moves in and through us. We carry his presence when we adhere to truthfulness. We carry his presence when we are kind, considerate, and compassionate. We carry his presence when we refuse to serve even 1 inch from the path of purity. We carry his presence vibrantly, dynamically, forcefully when we live our life in a divine manner with determination, humble intention, firm resolve, and all sincerity and earnestness. Otherwise, we are only projecting the sense of individuality. Though he is in and through us, we are expressing him only when we are kind, considerate, compassionate. We carry his presence when we refuse to serve even 1 inch from the path of purity. We carry his presence vibrantly, dynamically, forcefully when we live our life in a divine manner with determination, humble intention, firm resolve, and all sincerity and earnestness. When we are trying to pursue a divine way of living, in thought, word, and deed, we are manifesting beloved Papa. We are a vibrant center of that which the world knows as beloved Papa Swami Ramdas. We become a lamp through which his light shines. We become the vessel to hold the living waters of his spirituality. His sublime spiritual teachings. Oh, we become a lamp through which his light shines. We become the vessel to hold the living waters of his spirituality, his sublime spiritual teachings. Let us not, therefore, confine beloved Papa Swami Ramdas to the bhajan hall, homa mandir, Anandashram. Make ourselves a vehicle of his living presence, so that by our life, others also become awake and illumined. They feel his divine presence through our life, and their life is also divinized. We move amongst this world of men as the candle imparting our light to anyone whom God brings us in contact with. So these are the thoughts which well up in our mind when we remember that today is the 60th Mahasamadhi day of our Param Pujya Papa. Through this form, Papa has been trying us to connect us with him in the impersonal aspect. Mataji, that's why he said, Nirguna Nirakara Shashwata Surup. So every one of us should do manana on this particular word of Mataji. Whenever I thought of God as Ram, I felt God was far away from me. But when I thought of God as Papa, I felt his nearness. Because we don't know whether our interpretation is right or wrong. But when we started thinking about it, what struck to us was, right from our young age, whenever we say the word God in our own language, Bhagavan, Kadavul, Ishwaran, we immediately look at the sky and say, don't you remember Bhagavan? That has been with us, so he is away from us. We have never taken him to be an inside reality. So that must have prompted Mataji to bring out this word. Whenever I thought of God as Ram, I felt God was far away from me. The moment we hear Ram, we immediately think about Lord Ramachandramurti of Ayodhya. Na? First, that is that nobody will say that they have understood as the Nirguna Niragar. Because our tradition has shown, we have images of Lord Ramachandramurti with Sita, Lakshman and Anjaneya Bhagavan, Kodandaraman, Sita Raman. So the Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, all those things we used to say. So it was all away. They had lived. And so we are now. They had a date of birth and date of death. Even Lord Krishna had a date of birth and date of death. Na? Death means they are dropping the body. So we feel they are away. So Mataji wanted that eternal reality to get stamped. Papa somehow did not have that problem, so he named Ram. And in order that we don't be carried away by our usual concept, in his first book, in the first page of the In Quest of God, he wrote what Ram stands for. Please note this. When he started using Ram, which we feel, though he has not said in so many words, all that he said was when he met Gandhiji,
Swamiji, just on our experience, Swamiji.
1 minute, let me read this. In the course of Ramdas's life, prior to his meeting the Guru, he had been awakened off and on by contacts with some dynamic personalities, though he had not felt that any power from outside has done. The awakening had taken place within him. Ramdas once saw Gandhiji in Mangalore from a distance. A strange influence from him changed Ramdas's outlook, and his mind started going towards God. The first touch was from Gandhiji. So that when he says the first touch was from Gandhiji, you all know that Gandhiji was an advocate or a votary of Ramnam. His Ramnam was simple, Ram, 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 Ram. And his Ram was universal Ram. So we now feel that Papa started using the word Ram. That is our inference. Because it is the first touch when he says, first touch was from Gandhiji. And we understand from Google Baba, it was in 1920. So afterwards he started spinning and switched over to Kadi and repeating Ram Ram. And the In Quest of God also you will find He was repeating Ram, Ram, Ram. Then his father came and gave him Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. So that is the part of the history. So now, so for Papa, Ram was very clear because Gandhiji's Ram was universal Ram. So when somebody asked, you say Sita Ram, Raja Ram, he said, yes. Who said he is also not, he is also in Sita Ram. So that there won't be any confusion. He did not want to shake the faith of millions and millions of Indian devotees. So he said, yes, my Ram, after a few days we will read it out. There is a book. My God, there is a book. So there he writes, my Ram. So he has defined who is Ram. So Papa must have gone through that because he has gone through Gandhian thoughts. So then Papa started using the word Ram. But in order that we don't get into any sort of confusion, first book was In Quest of God, and first page, before he started the chapter, he said, it was 2 years ago that Ram first kindled in the heart of his humble slave Ramdas a keen desire to realize his infinite love. To strive to approach and understand Ram is to recede from the world of vanishing forms, because Ram is the only truth, the only reality. Ram is a subtle and mysterious power that pervades and sustains the whole universe. Birthless and deathless is he. He is present in all things and in all creatures, who only appear as separate entities due to their ever-changing forms. To wake up from this illusion of forms is to realize at once the unity or love of Ram. Love of Ram means love of all beings, all creatures, all things in this world. Because Ram is in all is in Ram, Ram is all in all. So this was made very, but in Mataji's case, she felt, because she did not get this from direct, so she probably her previous previous idea, concept of God, concept that comes after the word God or Ram, she thought he is far away, far away, far away, far away. So she requested Papa the permission to use the word Papa wherever he used the word Ram. That is why she said, but when I thought of God as Papa, I felt his nearness. It's a point on which we have to do some manana.
Swamiji,
Ah,
what was Satchidanand Swamiji's view on what it means about God, Ram, Papa?
he has not mentioned anything about it, but in the article he wrote in 2003, he was identifying the all-pervading reality as consciousness. So he said, whenever anybody comes, we are all floating, in this consciousness. And consciousness is coming in that form to talk to the consciousness in this form. This is what he has written. Though in all our on our sessions, on important days, we used to request Puja Swamiji to give us a message. At that time, he used to liberally quote Papa. And there many a times he has said Papa is seated within. Even the first article which we read now, he quotes about Papa that you should hold on to the truth within, not the outer. And on many occasions, whenever, say, Samadhi day, we have said we should know who Papa is. Other than that, Swamiji has not dealt with it. So to him also, it must have been very clear, though he was not using. But he wrote, but that means he was identifying consciousness as Papa. Because once when we asked him how he was able to get over the attachment to the physical form of Papa, he said he asked the same question to Papa, and Papa made it clear to him like this. So he used to tell us, Puja Swamiji used to tell us, that every day, morning and night, he used to do 2 times pranams to Papa when he was in body. So at that time, he used to close his eyes and then repeat these words. We hope we remember the word exactly as given by Papa, Puja Swamiji. I am prostrating before the nameless, formless, indwelling, all-pervading reality, whose presence has been made known to me through this form. So he was not only revering that form, but also getting himself connected to the impersonal aspect. That was the clarity he gave us. Is it clear?
Yes, Swamiji,
Ah,
very much.
ah, ah.
And it
Yeah.
also shows that Swamiji wanted us to experience God, not just talk or define or anything.
Correct.
Just wanted us to.
Correct.
Yeah.
So when Mataji said that who is Papa, she directly answers. Most of us did not apply our mind, or our mind was not directed toward that. So we got stuck with the forms. And then, because for these two we use the same word, Papa. At the same time, Mataji, we feel, we still repeat, whether the interpretation is right or wrong, it might vary from person to person. We still feel Mataji maintained the reverence to the form in the same way when he was in form, in body. So because the way in which she used to offer her pranams in the shrine, we used to witness. We will not feel that she is placing her head on the foot of the photo or image. She was feeling the living presence. So that means that equally she was giving reverence to the form, equally. And at the same time, getting herself connected to the impersonal aspect. So she prescribed the same method for all of us. Because it may be difficult to fix the mind on an impersonal aspect, nameless, formless. So we can choose any deity or guru. One thing is becoming clear when we go through all these on this Samadhi day. We should install him inside. The last one, of course, that is not written by Mataji. But beloved Papa's presence is not only confined to the bhajan hall or home mandir, he is not only all pervasive in this holy Anandashram, but it lives and moves in and through us. For that, we have to first install him, Otherwise, me and mine only will be there. Now, when we read this, reread this, do manana, and pray to him, and suppose we install him there, and we put a curtain, the me and mine, okay. But every now and then we have to remember, when you go to the temple, during the Naivedya time or something like that, they close the curtain. And then they open, then we all have the darshan. Similarly, all of us probably unknowingly we are doing it. So now suppose let us see, let us hope, or let us feel, let us experience that he is there inside us, and the me and mine is the curtain, and then every now and then we try to remove the curtain and see him, and then function, knowing that he is there, Even when we enter the temple, when the curtain is closed, not that we go away, we know that he is there inside, so we wait for some time. Similarly, now when we read this is the thought that wells up in our mind. So we install him. not by the words. Just like a Vigraha is installed in a temple, the sculptor prepares the Vigraha from an ordinary granite or marble, and then when it is brought there, it is subjected to go through various forms of rituals, and finally, the one who does the pratikshta, who is supposed to be a Brahmanishta, supposed to be a person who is well rooted in spirituality, he prays from the bottom of the heart to the indwelling and all-pervading reality to manifest, to give the experience of his manifestation through this Vigraha to the number of devotees who are going to worship him for ages to come through mantra. And when the Tantri, the person who does it, when he feels, yes, then he opens the door, and from that day onwards, it is no longer a Vigraha, it becomes a deity. And depending upon the faith we pour on the deity, the Chaitanya of the deity becomes more and more conspicuous, and that is how so many people get attracted. This is one way of interpretation we have heard. So like that, we will also now try to install. On this 60th Mahasamadhi day, Papa is not outside or in Anandashram or in Homa Mandir or in his books or in his photos. He is there, all these places, he is also there like in any other place. But he is in us. To use his own words, the impersonal person. He is the impersonal person inside us. It will be easy for those who have been associating, who have seen him in his body and who have been associating with him through thoughts, who does not feel his absence, they can install Papa's form itself in the heart. We can choose. Today is a day when we try to contemplate upon this. And what he stands for what? Universal vision. So when we install, what comes out of us must be everything with a universal vision, not with the me and mine vision. That is why in this article, when do we carry, is not only all pervasive in this holy Anandashram, but it lives and moves in and through us. We carry his presence when we adhere to truthfulness. We carry his presence when we are kind, considerate, and compassionate. We carry his presence when we are kind, when we refuse to serve even 1 inch from the path of purity. We carry his presence vibrantly, dynamically, forcefully, when we live our life in a divine manner. So we now pray to Papa, who is seated within now. You have taken us thus far. Why don't you please take us further and make us feel that you are there, not because of the help of a thought, but because of the feeling. What we are talking is thought, but the thought should ultimately end in the feeling of your presence, which can't be conveyed through words or thoughts. So let us have this prayer, and let us not forget Mataji's prayer that ultimately I want to become one with you. That is called Sakshatkar. You must take me unto yourself. You must remove the curtain and make yourself present in me. I should become aware of your presence. Though you are there now in my heart, I am not aware. I still find you, I still place you as an outside object for worship. Please remove that. Please enable me to feel your presence. That feeling the presence is very important. So let that be our prayer on the 60th Mahasamadhi day, for which also we are deeply grateful to him, how he made us to dwell on all these important points on this important day. Prostrations to you, Papa. Pranams to you, Papa. Salutations to you, Papa. Kindly enable all of us to realize your eternal being. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Pranama,
Om
Swamiji.
Pranam, Pranam, Pranam.